There's going to be a lot to talk about considering it's been a minute.
I'm actually going to start crying. Yeah, not to be dramatic, but it is insane.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the podcast.
Welcome back to the podcast.
We have a guest and this is our take two. We just had technical difficulties.
Yeah.
But I know we're so excited we have another guest.
Yeah, I love having guests on because it's just like, I feel like it brings a little, me and Ishika, we obviously chat all the time. It's so much fun to have a guest on.
I know. And the energy is just like high.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sure.
So we wanted to do a little intro. So Priya, if you could tell us a little bit about yourself. I know we're going to chat a lot more during the episode, but yeah.
I'll give you like the little elevator spiel I give people. So I'm Priya. I am a content creator / full-time consultant.
Yes.
So I have like two very different worlds that I'm a part of.
Yeah.
And as far as content goes, I do a lot of fashion content. I overshare on the internet a lot. And then I just like, some of it's like really low effort, like sharing casual videos. Some of it's like really high effort, like curated vlogs. And I'm a blogger, vlogger, content creator.
Amazing. And you live in New York, obviously.
I do. Now I do.
How long have you been living
So I
in New York?
moved to my apartment now 24 days ago.
Okay, and before that, were you...
I was in New Jersey.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Did you grow up in Jersey?
Yeah.
Wait, okay.
In that pipeline.
So did we.
Oh, shit.
So
Wait. Am I allowed to curse?
Yeah, it was fine.
Okay, let's talk about this after. But I want to know where you grew up.
Yeah.
I grew up in Edison, New Jersey.
Okay, South Brunswick.
We probably like
Totally.
know all the same
And
people.
we went to high school together, so we even could have
Oh, like it's literally like that.
And you went to Rutgers.
Yeah.
And
So did we.
Oh, it's
So,
over.
There you go.
We know all the same people.
What did you major in?
Probably.
So I went to pharmacy school.
Okay, so you did the 6 year.
Yes, so it was like very short.
Yeah, this is all Rutgers.
Yeah.
Like this is
I mean,
Rutgers
I feel
knowledge.
like it's so prevalent because like so many people from New Jersey come to New York.
Yeah.
So it's like you
Yeah,
meet
that's
people.
the pipeline.
Yeah.
Have you been liking New York so far? I know it's only been like 24 days.
Well, because we're all from like Rutgers, New
Yeah.
Jersey.
Yeah.
Like
So
it's not
you
like
know it.
it's not like a brand new
Totally.
experience to be here at all, but like to live here is definitely just life changing. Like I actually subletted in New York when I first started my job in like a year and a half ago, and I subletted in Chinatown, and that was amazing, and I had such a great experience. It was very different from where I live now, which is in Fidei.
Yeah.
And like the building I live in is like a lot nicer and everything, but I'm really happy that I got to have like my like cute Chinatown apartment.
The charm.
Like it was so nice, and I feel like that
Yeah.
was a great way to start living in New York.
Yeah.
I would have hated if I started living here right out the bat in like a nice building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My first New York City apartment was like the charmiest of charms. Like cockroaches, fit for a walk up, no laundry, no living room.
Yeah.
I did it all.
It was in East Village.
It was in Eastville.
Oh.
It was a good location.
The Villages are a great place to be.
And it was like right out of college I moved.
Yeah.
So
and it was
really
actually
nice.
right in the middle of everything.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
would, I would like
These Villages are great.
Yeah.
go to hang out, and we would just like walk right
Yeah.
back to her place. It was really
I mean,
convenient.
every time I'm there, I'm always like, so when I lived here, like I was just like,
It's so funny.
I
Every
was
time we walk
reminisce.
by in East Village, she's like,
Yeah.
I used to live right there. I used to walk right there.
It's almost like a past lover.
Totally.
Yeah.
Like when you're in that neighborhood and you're like
Wait.
walking around and you're like,
Yeah.
oh my god, like I used to like
Yeah.
walk there.
Exactly.
I do that with my friends when they come to my hometown. I'd be like, I go shopping. I go grocery shopping.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I'm so violent. They're like, we don't care. I have to tell everyone.
No, but
It's
it's
so
so
funny.
it's like your human experience, and it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's weird when you have to like leave an apartment.
Yeah.
And you're like leaving that all behind, and then like
Yeah.
that's just like a part of your life that's not
Yeah,
coming back.
Totally.
Yeah, it's
Do you have
crazy.
a favorite neighborhood in New York, or like a part of New York that you like the most, whether Manhattan or?
So like I have a lot of opinions about New York
Yes.
neighborhoods, but I don't claim to be like an expert.
Totally.
Yeah.
But
Totally.
at the same time, like I am critical of certain neighborhoods.
Okay.
Like I fucking hate Midtown.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't love Hell's Kitchen. Hell's Kitchen
Yes.
is great food.
Yeah.
Totally.
Every neighborhood has like something to offer. I don't like Soho.
Okay.
I
Super
think
crowded
it's
now.
super crowded
It's
now.
all very touristy. Like
It's very
yeah.
touristy,
Yeah.
very like corporate, very like like if I wanted to buy something nice, like I got my sister a really nice Paul N bag, and they have a flagship Soho
Yeah.
store.
Yeah.
So that was like a whole excursion for
Yeah.
us. But then other than that, like when I'm in Soho, I'm like, I just like I can't.
Yeah, this is so funny because Vanessa just got a Polen bag, and
Yeah.
I went with her, and her boyfriend told her to pick it out.
Oh.
I literally third wheeled their date.
Wait, that's so cute.
He got her a bag for their anniversary,
That's
and,
so
and I was
cute.
like, I was lit with them, and she's like, "You want to come?" Help
You
us?"
went to the flagship store.
Yeah.
You can like get your initials on the like strap or something.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, we
Maybe
should-
I can go back.
You
and
can
do
definitely go
that.
back.
She literally just got it a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that like a very nice engraving or
Yeah.
anything? They like gold gold leaf stamp it on, which is not real gold leaf, but like it's like cute.
It's like a memory.
Yeah.
It was a very overwhelming experience because I've never had nice things. So like going in there, I was like, I don't know what to do. But having Ishika there like helped, like, because my boyfriend didn't really know like what color.
So
It's like pick what you want.
Oh, we were like living. We were like that one, that one. We were just like having the best time. I fully walked out being like, I want that bag in the future. Like I didn't buy one, but I know what bag I want.
No, and it's great because I feel like so much of our world is digital now, and we're always like, oh, I want this, I want that. But I feel like the going in person and experience, especially for like a nicer experience, that's a part of the experience, like to go in person. Like I also like in my family, like we don't like have luxury items, but like I'm like, okay, like as we get older, I want like my sister and my mom to have anything nice. Like if I get anything nice, I want them to have it first. You know what I mean? Because it's like, what am I gonna do having like a nice thing without them having it?
That.
So like when I bought her that Paul N bag, it was like our collective first time having that experience.
And it's so fun to like have that memory.
It was, people were kind of mean to us though.
Really?
Oh.
Before they realized we were like serious buyers.
What?
I don't know.
I feel like that's happened.
They like were like, I was like, hey, like can we see this bag? And they were like, yeah. And like, not to say anything against like the people who are working there, like they're probably working on commission, like they really can only pay attention to someone who's a serious buyer. But then when we were like, okay, like can we like move forward, they were like, oh shit, okay, like I saw them like change up, and I was like, okay, I get it.
It's like at Aritzia too.
You think so?
I feel ignored in there if I'm just like going in there unless I'm buying something, and then they're like all over.
That's funny because like obviously they're nice places, but they're not like super crazy designer that you have to be like so exclusive. Like,
I know. I think it comes from like a place of like these the people who work there, you know, they're so human too. And I feel like New York, we just get so much foot traffic everywhere. They're probably just like over it.
Oh, that is a good point.
So kind of pivoting the conversation, I know you are a content creator, so how did you kind of like jump into that and like start doing that, because I know you love fashion.
I do. I feel like actually like my journey with fashion is something I'm still exploring, and more recently I've become more comfortable being able to speak on it and be like, I know what I'm talking about, because I feel like when I was first content creating, I was just like in my room wearing cute outfits, being like, oh, this is what I like, this is what I don't like, I'm going out, I'm wearing this, and it was like, it would resonate with some people, it wouldn't with some people, and that was fine with me. But now it's like I am like hyper aware of like the implications of the fashion industry, and like I think you can as a person enjoy fashion and love fashion and the art and creativity, and then still be critical of so much of the industry.
I think it's important to do that.
Yeah.
Because if people who enjoy it and who are part of it aren't critical of it,
then who will be?
Exactly. You have to from the inside, and 100%. People who are part of it. So do you think, I mean, like, you've always been interested in fashion, or has it been something that you've kind of explored and developed?
I think it came over time. It came with time, and it came with like when I was in like high school, so I was a theater kid. And I was like the fashion girl for like our shows. And that was really fun. And then I remember
costumes.
Yeah, costumes.
That's cool.
So that was like probably where it started. And then like it was really fun to have that much stuff to play with, because it was like a theater closet, so it was like the most theatrical, and I think that's where my like more affinity towards like maximalist fashion comes from, because it was just so much crazy stuff.
I think I like maximalism. I'm just bad at like implementing it into my own.
Like I'm also a cozy girl, so that's also. But
I think I'm also more like, we always say, I think she's a little bit more minimalist, and I'm a little bit more maximalist. Right. And, like I like just like a lot of jewelry, like a lot. Like I'm like put on everything.
No, and I completely resonate, and I think it's also like so many different things. Like I feel like maximalism can be associated with like waste or like unsustainable practice.
That's true.
But I think like conscious maximalism is like where I'm trending towards. Like we were talking about this a little bit, but like I want to make this a facet of all of my life. Like I'm decorating an apartment right now, and as easy and convenient as it is to like go on Amazon and be like, okay, like I need a catch-all dish, like I could just get this off of Amazon, it's like super cheap. It doesn't have a lot of meaning to me, and I'm lucky I'm in a place where I have a full-time job that like I can support myself, and I can like spend a little bit on something nicer that has more meaning.
You could be like, I got this from X, Y, and Z.
Exactly.
It has a story behind it.
Exactly. And it's like unique. It's like one of a kind. And like I'm not gonna like speak ill of like things that are mass produced, because like that is like something that like I promote sometimes too. So it's like it's just like finding a balance between all of that. But at the same time, like I'm lucky, like because I'm like split and I have a full-time job that I actually enjoy, like I can make those choices. People who are full-time content creators, you have to make choices that, you know, also support your livelihood.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a really interesting industry right now, and it's like changing a lot.
You made a video on your TikTok literally about that, about like being a full-time content creator, but also, or like being a part-time content creator, but also having a full-time job, and how you like really loved having a job alongside content creation. Yeah.
On the car ride here, we were literally talking about this once, and I think it's like I keep feeling like I see a lot of content creators who are now being like, I'm going back to having a job.
I've seen that.
I feel a shit. Like,
yes.
And I forget who I was watching.
Anna Wolfmerman.
Yes.
Was that her name?
Anna Wolfmerman.
Butchered her name.
And I think she was saying that she was like,
I loved that video.
Yes. Yeah. I remember her saying that like, content creation is a lot about you.
Right. 100%.
And she's like, I don't want everything to be about me.
No. She was like, I go to brunch, and a part of me is like, damn it, like I'm with brunch with my friends. Yeah. I have to record this and then put it on my story.
Yeah.
And that's like, that's like, I think having a split when you're a content creator is so smart. I know so many people who have a good split. I have a good split. When I do things with like my friends, my boyfriend, even my family, I like get permission as much as I can to be like, do you mind if I film this day?
That's good.
Because like, I don't want to, my need to like make content ruin your experience either.
Totally. Yeah. And going off of that, I have a question. So do you struggle with like being present in the moment, or deciding when to film, or is it something that has kind of come like natural to you and you've been able to keep that balance, or has it something you've had to be intentional about?
I think it's something that you have to be really intentional about. Like I've definitely like had to be like, okay, put the phone away.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, like when you are a content creator, you're working for yourself, and you're also like low key always working. Totally. Like if I'm doing something really fun over the weekend, like even like this, like I'm like, oh my god, this is so cool. I want to share this with people, and like obviously that's positive. But then it's like at the same time, like how does me wanting to share it and having my phone in someone's face make them feel? Yeah. And like those are things you just have to be intentional about.
Yeah. You know what I think about? I think of like, I used to watch a lot of daily vlogs, and my mom honestly used to too, like growing up we were big YouTube girls. Yeah. And like
I also love that.
Right? Yeah. And this idea that like they always you're just going through your day to create content. Yeah. Like it becomes less about, because you're living your life is your job. Yeah. So you're everything you're doing is just to make content.
At least you can write it off on your taxes.
That's true.
The positive.
My roommate, we were talking about this. She's also a content creator. Yeah. You guys have had her on the show. You know Deepa. And we were talking about groceries, and we were like, low key, like if the groceries are in our videos, can we write them off on our taxes?
Funny. Should we be making cooking videos?
I'm like,
grocery haul?
No, like literally, and like we make videos that are like so completely our lives. It's not just fashion or just food. So I'm like, so I don't have to pay any money to the federal government. Okay, I'm not gonna bring up taxes. That's a whole other thing. And it's very stressful. I still call my dad crying sometimes. Like it's not.
It's a thing to learn, and no one really teaches us.
No one teaches it.
Just a girl.
I'm just a girl. You know, like the crying gerbil meme?
Yeah,
that's me. Oh my god.
Wait, with the Stanley.
Yes.
You know what I also always like talk about that we were talking about this, like doctors, like growing up and like finding your own doctor.
Oh my god.
I don't know why that's such like figuring out your insurance and like finding specialized doctors.
I have not been to a gyno in 2 years because I'm struggling so much.
Yeah. Totally.
But like no, like please go to your gyno. Like go to your gyno.
I have run into that issue because now my parents don't live in Jersey anymore. They moved to Texas. Oh, nice. So like I start from like finding new doctors, and I'm like.
And I remember also was like really stressed about it for a while.
Yeah, because it's like they're gonna be either gonna be really good or really bad. You never know.
No, yeah.
Also, I'm like I don't know what a deductible is.
I don't either. What is my copay?
I'm like crying at the doctor's office.
The copay, like why am I paying $75? Please.
I know. I
just want to be healthy.
Yeah, that's a whole other discussion. But I literally feel like I have such a hard time advocating for myself in front of medical professionals. Oh, like, I always feel like they don't take me seriously. No. So I don't like tell it. Like I feel like this has happened in the past where I'm like something is wrong. Right. But they're just like, no, it's okay.
No. Yeah. This is a fact of the medical industry.
It's happened to me so much that I'm like kind of burnt. So I'm like, I have such a negative connotation
with it,
with like going, but that's just a whole
but like as a woman I feel like, and sorry if I'm kicking you, as a woman in like the medical industry, like you are treated differently, and this is true. Like oh my god, my mom would say this, and I don't know how true this is. She'd be like, when you're giving birth, don't go to a female gyno because they feel less sympathy for you.
Really?
I don't know. This is my mom. But I'm just saying, like, the lack of sympathy towards women in the medical industry is very common.
So
and, like,
common.
Our pain is not taken seriously
I agree.
Across the board.
Mm-hmm. One of my best friends who I grew up with is finishing up medical school now. Okay. And she has... I know when we were talking about this episode, you were talking about how, like, birth control and stuff like that is just treated so differently for women. Oh, yeah. And that's something that she has talked about to me before, like women's reproductive rights and how that's something that hopefully we're gonna make strides on. And we just had a guest on who talked about her experience with like losing her period through being an athlete. And how she like just did not be able to get professional help from like a gynecologist who didn't take her seriously. They were just like, nothing's wrong, but there actually was. For like years she like didn't have it.
She was like, I don't know what to do,
because they honestly, like, if I'll be honest, like when you look at the data, they just don't have enough data and enough studies about women specifically. New things are coming out almost every day about like how a woman's like hormone cycle is so different from a man's, and like there's so many studies done agnostic of being male or female, or like male or female biologically, right? So it's like things like sleep. All these studies are like, you need 8 hours of sleep. And then something came out recently that was like, you need 10 as a woman. And I'm like, I felt so guilty, especially like around your period. When you're like, damn, I'm so lethargic. Like, I just can't do anything. And like, it's turning out that biologically that's so normal.
But
like,
no one
will tell you that. No one will acknowledge that.
Do you watch Love is Blind?
I just started.
Okay. There's a whole conversation right now on that show where
on
there's
the
this
new
one
season.
Couple,
okay,
I know you haven't
watched it yet.
There's this new one of the couples on it. She doesn't want to be on birth control. It's a whole thing, and he's like, okay, well then, what do we do? Because I don't want to get pregnant yet.
Right.
So it's like a constant discussion that they're having on the show where they're like, what do we do? Like, do we get a vasectomy? It's like, actually, and I'm glad they're discussing it.
Wait, I think that's a very, like, valid conversation that a lot of, like, I am not on birth control, and I don't want to be. And, like, I have PCOS, so technically, medically, like, it would be helpful for me. I was on birth control for, like, a hot minute, and, like, you know, like, we've all had struggles with, like, mental health, and birth control didn't help that.
Did it make it worse?
Yeah, and I have really bad anxiety, and I would wake up in the morning, and I would be like just shaking.
I had to switch my birth control I switched it after years, not realizing that the birth control I was on was kind of known to like
affect you.
And one of our friends was like, you know, that like I used to take that one and maybe that's affecting. And so then I switched it, but also my gyno never.
They never.
She fully knew I was having issues.
And
was like on medication. And she fully never told me to switch it.
And not to say that they like don't want to help you, but I just don't think that there's a lot of like information out there about what's better. Like there's a couple birth controls that I support. Like there's one that's low, which is very, very low estrogen. If I were to go back on birth control, I would take that one. But like, you know, I have PCOS, but my doctor like was never like, here's a plan to deal with it. And instead, like I went to pharmacy school, so it's not like I don't believe in American medicine and everything. I believe in it very firmly, and I like work in the pharma industry. But I had to go through so many like more holistic like things, like and like desi root things. Like my mom, like my parents love like holy dude.
Yes.
Like turmeric milk.
I always drink it whenever I'm sick.
Wait, like I have accidentally paid for like an golden latte. But they put a flower on it, so it's like that's so cute.
They made it look pretty.
No, they did. But like healthy dude, like I truly believe it like lowers my cortisol levels. Like it like regulates my hormones to some extent. I've been drinking a lot of spearmint tea because it has anti-androgenic whatever properties. Like it's just good for you. But like my doctor never told me these things. Like my mom and I talk about it. So it's like a very different world.
One of my friends, she was like dealing with a lot of acne because of her hormones. They were out of whack. And she was like going to so many doctors, like kept prescribing her like so many different things. And then she finally went to like a holistic doctor. And like literally like all she had to do was kind of like lower her cortisol levels in the morning. Stress. Like she started moving her body and her skin
clears up.
And she was like just so much more confident now and like so much more happier. But it's just like the stress of like having to go to so many people. But the good thing I have been seeing lately, and we talked about it a little bit on the last episode when we were talking about Karen and her period. There's been so many like podcasts and like so much information that like in a way it's been really good because I feel like people are having like conversations about it.
I agree.
Yeah. And like that's how we're finding our info.
No, yeah, absolutely.
And if that's how we have to, we didn't have that back then.
I think especially in the broad community, like getting your period it's like obviously. Honestly, I'm lucky that my mom is super open with me and I could like go to her, but it's kind of a taboo topic. Like not us not being able to go to the temple, like just like weird stuff.
I know,
right?
I could go on about that.
To this day, my mom will be like, stay
right. Another weird one is like the whole tampon like.
The fear around insertion.
Right?
Yeah.
All this weird stuff. So I feel like in our community too, it's just not as open. So it's nice that you could like get on your phone and at least see some maybe find some content.
No, I couldn't agree with you more. And I feel like there's a lot of conversations around how like content creation is so oversaturated. Yeah. Oh my God, another podcast. Yeah. Like that's true in some ways. Like every industry is going to grow. Yeah. And every industry is going to like blow up like a bubble. That's just what happens. But that doesn't remove from the fact that there is so much impact regardless. Yeah. And like, you're so right. Like, if I, at the age, like, I got my period when I was in 5th grade. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, my only resources were my mom and my sister. Luckily, like, they were great. But, like, still, like, there were so many fears and there were so many issues. And, like, I was a hairy little 11-year-old girl. Like, I was like, what's wrong with me? Like, why is my mustache so thick? Like, this white boy in my class is, like, calling me, like, a monkey. Like, like what is wrong with me? But, like, if there was someone who, like, popped up on my feed or something and was like, I have been there. Yeah. And it's okay.
Yeah. And, like, a lot of our experiences are shared. Yeah. And, like, we feel so alone in so many things. Yeah. But literally, like, everyone has the same experience. Yeah.
So, you went to Rutgers, too. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know who Queen City Trends is?
I think
she's like
she's like a family vlogger. She lives in like Nashville.
She's coming to Rutgers. She's brown. Yeah. South Indian. Okay. Yeah. She's coming to Rutgers today. Oh shit. Speaking at one of the RBS clubs, and I saw it on my Instagram, and I was like, "That's so cool." What like 3 years ago when we were in college, there weren't even any brown influencers they got invited.
Yeah.
Masa was.
You're so right.
Yeah.
Masa was in the same club that she was
I was in that club at that time.
And Masa was like, I don't even know who we could have asked. So it's so cool.
Because also they were like so big, right? Like I was talking to my roommate about this.
It's like Deepa Khoshla or like someone.
No, like literally it's like that person is not gonna come to your little Rutgers like thing. Totally. And then there was like a handful of like YouTube people who like blew up, and they were like people like in names that for some reason escaped me. Like but like they're like the entrenched brown people who were our representation, but like there wasn't anyone closer. Totally. Like that second level.
So it's just so cool that
is a thing now.
Yeah.
That is really cool. Yeah. I'm excited about that.
It is really cool.
So I think something that I really wanted to talk about, again, like pivoting back to your style, how did you kind of like start to discover your own style, like as you grew older, and like figure out what you like, what you don't like, your opinion on trends?
As someone who wants to know, like, how do you make yourself take risks in fashion? Yeah. Do you have advice?
Because I've seen your content and your fashion is amazing.
I think there's this idea that if you want to take risks in fashion, you need to spend a lot of money. Mm-hmm. And that's not true. And if you're spending a lot of money to discover your fashion, you're going about it the wrong way. Because now you're like, you're digging yourself a hole. Yeah. And I really believe that like you can rent clothes if you want to explore. I really like that idea, especially right now. Because like, for example, for me, I can never, no matter how much money I'm making, justify spending like above $500 on a dress. But there's so many beautiful brands out there and so many beautiful like authentic styles that I want to wear for like a special occasion or something. Like a brand I love is Cult Gaia.
Yes.
Can't afford anything from them.
So expensive.
But I was able to rent a piece from them. Yeah. And it was like beautiful, and it was like the most amazing thing I've ever put on my body. But like I was able to like give credit to that design and like not have to wear a dupe. But then I'm like not gonna wear that every day. Yeah. So it's like I rented it, and that's like bad.
I have been huge on renting, especially like trips and stuff, because you'll buy so many things for this vacation. And never wear it again.
Exactly. But
then it's like, it's so much more fun when you rent it too, because you get to explore like some exciting pieces that were like $200, but you get it for like $30.
Exactly. Yeah. And like sometimes renting is a little pricey, I won't lie. Like it's still like a want, not a need. Yeah. But like if you're someone who's like, I really want to explore with my personal style, I don't know what to do, I think the best thing to do, and I'm really enjoying doing this right now, is just like mood boarding. And like Pinterest and like even Instagram, which is why I'm really enjoying Instagram right now. Yeah. I'm like having so much fun with it personally, because it just feels like a mood board. Yeah. And like it's very inspirational to me. And like seeing different people's outfits, whatever, like you just like see what you like and then like go thrifting. And if thrifting is like hard for you, like, you know, like go to like some sort of like a sustainable option for you and like find what you want.
Are you picky about like what kind of content you consume?
I am now. Okay. I wasn't before. Yeah. Before I was definitely like mindlessly scrolling. Yeah. And then like when your time becomes so limited, and don't get me wrong, I rot on the couch all the time. Yeah. I'm like a 3-screener sometimes, because I have like my laptop open where I should be writing my blog, and then like Love is Blind, and then like my TikTok, and then all of a sudden like fuck everything else, I'm on TikTok. But like I try to really consciously consume now, because like my thing right now is like, because I am a full-time worker, like I work for corporate America, I don't have the luxury to be like, okay, I can like mood board today, then plan content tomorrow, like, which is like a schedule that a lot of like PR people who work for brands do. They like mood board and they do all this stuff. I don't have the time for that. So like when I am consuming content, it's almost like work for me and I'm like getting inspiration, whatever. Bottom line, it's like, it's really, really important to like follow people who matter. And like there were some creators who like would make me feel bad about myself. Like they didn't do anything wrong. They're gorgeous, stunning, beautiful. Perfect. But I would just be like, I don't relate to you. I look at you and I'm like, do I need to get a boob job? So I'm like, I need to stop consuming that. It's not helping me.
I mean, comparison is so easy on social media because you're like also only seeing like a lot of the times the good stuff about what people are going through. So you tend to compare yourself like really easily. So,
I know, and I think I think this is part of adulthood. It's just you realizing how valuable your time is.
Frontal lobe is developed.
Totally. Like, I would much rather be spending that time, quality time with people I love. And making myself feel, and also you realize, I think I've been trying to be more intentional about how much this does affect you. Even if you don't realize you're scrolling, but like subconsciously. You're forming opinions.
100%.
Right? And
that's the entire marketing industry.
Exactly.
And I know it can be hard sometimes to like be picky because like people are like get petty about like, oh, you unfollow me and stuff like that. But I love muting.
I do that I do that with like, also not just content creators. It's like, you know, it's like
peers.
It's just like maybe I don't need to see everything.
I'm like, maybe I don't need to see the 5th picture of your kind of ugly baby. I mean, like it looks half-baked. Like, put it back in the oven.
Stop. That's funny. No, but exactly. Like, I don't need to see your every meal.
Right. And it's like, and there's like some people who I'm like, I do want to see your every meal. Like, oh my God, I saw this TikTok that was like, when you're on vacation, this is the itinerary. I want to be like, I'm there with you.
Exactly.
Because like, I am living through you. This is our vacation now.
You better be taking me along.
And I need to know what brunch, what outfit, what drinks, where, like, but like, I get that. But then there's sometimes I'm like, I don't care. And that's okay. Not caring is okay.
Exactly.
Being picky is good.
100% agree.
So how do you think you would describe your style? Do you have like a, I guess, phrase or a way you would describe it?
I absolutely do. I feel like I've been doing that for myself a lot recently because as you're exploring personal style, like you really need to like have something to anchor yourself in. So I've definitely been like, I dress very girly. I'm rarely in like something that's like more not feminine. So very girly. I like looking like I stepped out of a Jane Austen novel. But like that's like something I'm still exploring and I want to like dive into that more.
I so understand that.
Like I want to look like
she goes a reader, so she understands it more.
Really?
Do you read?
Oh, I love to read.
Are you like a fiction reader?
Yeah, fiction, nonfiction, romantasy.
That's her love language.
But I did hate this one romantasy book that I read, Iron Flame, which is the follow-up to the...
Iron Flame was, honestly, it was like, what was going on?
It was ass.
What was happening after Fourth Wing?
Fourth Wing was so good. It was this romantasy book.
This is the series that you were just talking about.
That I was telling you about.
I don't read a lot.
We'll sidebar about this.
We'll sidebar about this. I have my Court of Thorns and Roses, the 3rd book, sitting outside. That's mine.
Period.
I'm going to read it on the train.
Oh, I'm so excited for you.
I think I'm also, like, when I read a book, I just, like, that's all I do. Like, I
all or nothing. Yeah.
I started out like 2 days ago, and I'm like, I can't do anything.
Why should you?
I open my, it's like very much like, and I love that feeling.
I love it too.
Of like being obsessed. With like a piece of literature.
I love that.
I don't know. I've always been a reader.
No, but I completely relate, and I think that translated to my fashion because I was like, I love romance, and I love romantic fashion, and I love fashion that's like, I don't know, just evokes something in you.
Totally.
And like I've been really obsessed with like certain mood boards that are very like Parisian, and then also South Asian mood boards that are very like, there's a couple creators that like just do beautiful things with jewelry and like bringing back saris and like in this beautiful romantic way. And it's like, sometimes I feel like South Asian things that are translated to like the US side can be kind of chuggy.
Totally.
Like we're looking for wall art and like some of it is just so like live, laugh, love, but like Desi coded. And I'm like, God.
You're right.
Like I love that you put jasmines in your hair, but like why is it in this like font? Like what's happening? But then there's some of it that's just so beautiful. So I'm really excited to dive into that.
Yeah. That'll be like a fun thing to do, explore.
Romantic baddie.
Okay. I love that description.
I definitely like to look like feminine and hot, but like
that is like a perfect description.
No, but that's like where I feel like I fall right there. Yeah.
Would you call yourself a romantic?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And whimsical. I want to throw that.
I'm
a
hopeless romantic without anybody to be romantic with. Like, I'm a single hopeless romantic.
Well, hopeless romantic is like a...
That's true.
It's a paradox, yeah.
That is... Okay.
Like, if you're hopeless romantic, you're a hopeful romantic.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
You're right. And it's just about, I feel like it's just about, I love love in general.
Yeah.
Like, I love reading about love.
Yeah.
I love seeing it.
Yeah.
Like, I just, I'm a big...
Even when I was single and even when I was, like, depressed, I loved Valentine's Day.
It's so cute.
Because I just love the concept of it. And, like, I feel like everything about it is just so... it's just great.
It's an excuse to love someone more. And, like, why not celebrate that?
No, I agree. It's true. I don't know, whenever there's, like... I see these on Twitter and it'll be, like, a man who's, like... Why do I have to have a day to love you more? Like, I love you every day. It's like, okay, go get her the damn flowers.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Also, if you be loving her every day like you say you are, then she wouldn't really care that much about Valentine's Day.
Exactly.
Like, let's be real.
Also, like,
Get her flowers all the time then.
I love, like, the little, like, oh my god, on Valentine's Day, just, like, men running around with flowers.
Yeah.
I saw, like...
It's my favorite day of the year.
I saw an old man, like, I could tell he was, like, going through the flowers and he's just, like, looking at them very, very... And it's just, like, literally, like, my heart is bursting.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like,
That's
this is what I live for. Like,
That is really
I saw so many TikToks and I was, like, crying
yeah!
that day.
Like, oh my god.
People coming home from work with flowers.
Yeah.
Really sweet.
It's a very sweet holiday.
It is really sweet.
Well, how would you guys describe your fashion?
That is something I'm still exploring.
Yeah.
I would say I dress a little bit more masculine. I'm very, like, so. I'm more, like, a very, like, pants girl. Like, I love baggy clothes. Yeah. I'm very, like, that I would say is, like, a big part of my fashion. But I also have, like, the opposite where I, like, want to wear a dress. I want to be super girly. So, like, I don't have, like, a word for it, but I guess it's, like... something.
Inside of us, there are two wolves.
I'm just trying to be intentional with trying to create outfits with clothes that I already have.
Same.
Yeah. Because I'm like, how can I mix and match these? I have a lot of clothes, but how can I make different outfits out of it before buying something new?
I fully agree with that. Yeah. Like, I'm also in that phase of, like, let me wear my clothes.
Yeah.
I bought before I buy something else.
Yeah. I also think I'm in this has never really happened to me before, where I, like, don't feel like spending money and buying something and then just letting it sit there. It, like, actually makes me feel sad.
Yeah.
I think I'm a big impulse buyer. Like, I'm someone who's so easy to be like, oh, especially with, like, she knows this. She knows this. Like, especially with, like, lotions and soaps and, like, that.
Yeah. Isabel loves a soap store.
No, I love a good soap store.
Like a Lush?
She bought like a candle like that turns into soap.
Oh, I don't...
Labo?
Yeah, right? Okay, I love Lush. Lush is, like, I cannot walk into a Lush without buying something I don't really need. One time we were
at a Christmas market.
The Brian
I love a Christmas market.
And there was this one little stand that, like, had candles, and when the candle melts, it turns into soap.
Lotion.
It's a lotion. But and Ishika was sold.
Wait, I'm sold.
But can I be honest, I've never used it. Because it's, like, burning hot. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It's, like, burning hot. Like, it's such a cool idea.
Because when you put the lotion on you, it's like...
Wait. Right? I'm trying to understand the concept. So, like, it'll melt and then it'll harden again?
Right.
But so you have to use it while it's waxed?
Yes. And it's hot. But I just get so tempted. I'm like, I love this. I am such an impulse buyer. And lately I've been like, I just feel like there's so much excess around me.
Yeah.
And I think I'm in this phase of life, which it's just like I don't feel like spending as much money.
No, same.
I want to spend money on nice pieces.
Yes.
But not just like little things that I am very prone to, like.
I fully am right there with you. Like, I feel like when I was a student, right, and I was a student for a little bit longer than other people because I was in pharmacy school. I, like, didn't have money, and I was also growing as a content creator then. And, like, I can speak to my own faults and speak to my own, like, things that I could have done differently, but, like, I will forgive myself. I was a student. And, like, there were brands that reached out to me and that I, like, did collaborations with that, like, I would consider, like, not very ethical now. Like, and I did collaborations with, like, Amazon. And, like, as much as I honestly still do use Amazon, I use, like, Whole Foods, like, I use Prime. Like, I do those things to make my life convenient. But, like, I was in this phase where I would, like, literally, like, buy Amazon workout sets, like, pretty frequently. Like, why did I do that? That was a waste. And, like, now I'm like, okay, now I have, like, my 4 or 5 workout sets that are really good quality. And I've invested in them, and now, like, I'm happy.
I think also, like, as you grow older, you strengthen your values. And you strengthen that belief in, like, this is really important to me. When you're in college, and we're still figuring it out. Like, not that we're, like, old. We're still in But I think, especially when you're on, like, you're 18, you're, like, and you're easily influenced.
Like, I was 18 years old in college doing a Shein haul every other month or something.
When you're in your in your teens, I feel like you're so malleable that like when you see someone like wearing a certain thing, it's like, I want that. I want to look like that.
No, you're so right.
Yeah. And when you get older, you tap into yourself a little bit more. So you might see something and be like, she looks great in that, but that's not my vibe.
That is so important because I feel like I was also fully like, oh, like she looks good in that. So like I'm going to look good in that. Yeah. And then you have that moment like of like the box comes in the mail, you open it, you got that high of like, oh my god, I got a box. Yeah. Then you put it on and you immediately get that low of like, I don't look like that 6 foot tall model who's blonde and gorgeous. Like, wait, what?
Yeah. You know, something I struggle with is like finding the mix between trends and then like I'm trying to think of
and your own vibe.
I don't want to look like everyone else, but I also want to participate in sometimes things that are happening. But how do I like? I think I'm struggling with finding that balance of like, I don't know. Yeah. Of having a classic style, but also letting myself like kind of enjoy the moment.
I feel like my hot take on all of that though is like I don't believe in capsule wardrobes. Okay. I think that they're a great idea on paper, but that they're not human, and that like you have to forgive yourself and your fashion too, because like what you like today you probably won't like 2 years from now. For you to like be like, I'm gonna invest in this like $3,000 capsule wardrobe with all these pieces from Aritzia and like I'm gonna love it and I'm gonna wear it every day. It's like great. Like you will have clothes and you will have great basics, but then you're gonna fall into this fall into this situation where you're like, wait, like I'm bored, I'm going somewhere nice, what the heck do I do? What do I wear? So like I feel like it's balance. Like I feel like I have to have 2 entirely separate wardrobes sometimes where I have like my work clothes and then I have my fun clothes. And so my fun clothes are like the clothes that like I would go out to like an event or like a party or a dinner or like whatever, because this is what shows my personality. And my work clothes are just like work clothes. And that's my like capsule wardrobe. But like recently I'm trying to marry the 2 more and like have more fun clothes that I can wear to work. I've been working now for 1.5 years, so I feel more comfortable showing my...
Is your work environment a little more casual in terms of what people wear, or is that a little bit more formal?
It's definitely formal. Okay. Like consultancy is just like that. Like that you have to maintain a certain casual. Like standard.
I think Masa has a little bit more of a formal. She works at a startup.
I work at a startup, so I can wear this to work. Yeah, and like they're just like whatever. So I feel like I can actually wear my style at work.
That's
obviously
really nice.
Like not something like, scandalous,
right?
But it's kind of nice because like I see my coworkers like really embrace their style, and I see like the guys who are like from Brooklyn like really embracing their style.
Oh, I love that.
It's just like it's kind of cool because I work in a space where like I feel like a lot of people who work at startups are like a little bit more creative.
Yes,
so just,
yes.
Like, I don't know. They like.
No, it's awesome. Cool. It's cool that you get to be in that environment.
Yeah, because like I feel like sometimes when I was in my like corporate job before that, I felt a little bit. I just like wanted to wear something different. Same. However, I think you can get fun with corporate clothing too.
I think you can too. And I'm exploring that. But it's like I want to do it in like really intentional ways. So I've been investing in like some fun blazers.
Oh, I love
like
that.
Some colorful ones for spring. Yeah. I had this eye on this magenta one. And then someone took it from the thrift store that I saw it at. But that's okay. But like I have a mental picture of like what kind of vision I want. Yeah. So like I'm excited to explore that. Yeah.
Totally.
You were talking a little bit about like code switching between like your 9 to 5 and your social media life. Like, isn't it so weird? Like one day or like 1 hour, you're literally like professional in a meeting, and then the next minute you're like, I don't know. Yeah.
I feel like this is something that isn't talked about. I mean, I haven't heard a lot of these conversations spoken about, but like how you have to speak in corporate America.
So different.
It's kind of uncomfortable. Yeah. I remember when we were in a business fraternity in college, and my big in my fraternity, you know her, talks very like casually in the best way possible. Yeah. And I remember her telling me that she was struggling with like how to express her personality or like dim her personality at work because she couldn't talk how she'd be super conscious of what she was saying and how she was saying things. Yeah. Which is such like I was like, okay, I've never,
I'm definitely in that. Yeah. I'm struggling like her. Yeah. Because like something about me, like I work with a lot of men. I am a woman. I'm like short. I'm like not very like intimidating to look at. Like also like I like have like a baby face. Like I'm very hyper aware of things that like could present me as like someone not to take seriously in a corporate environment. But like like I have enough like I can stand on business and be like I got a doctorate. Like take me seriously. Yeah. But at the same time like you have to back that up unfortunately with like a lot of personality that makes it make sense. So I find myself unconsciously or consciously pitching my voice really down at work. And like this is like maybe like my normal. Honestly, my voice is fucked because I've been screaming all night. But like I think my voice naturally is like up here, right?
Yeah.
And then at work, I'm like, hey guys, all right, let's get this meeting started. And it's like I'm pitching myself down. I'm like trying to be so level, so monotone, and there's no personality there.
There's no personality.
And the personality when it comes out, I'm like, oh my god, how was your weekend? And it's like, who the hell is that bitch? Because she is not my coworker.
Yeah. But the truth is that you spend so much of your time in your corporate job.
Yeah.
But it's like you not being. There has to be a bit more of a balance.
Yeah.
I think of being able to express yourself, because then you're just dimming yourself all the time.
I 100% agree.
How do you find that?
I guess it's a hard thing though in corporate America. It's like that's just like how it is.
But I do think our generation.
Gen Z.
We're fighting it.
Because I think we all are better at blurring the lines a little bit and making work more casual.
Yeah.
And I think especially COVID, like now you're working from your house.
Right.
I think a lot of things have been happening lately that hopefully we're trending to a little bit more
of like a positive
about casual professionalism. Like, you know what I mean? Like still professional.
Yeah. Definitely, I think that everything you're saying makes sense. Definitely certain environments are strictly against that still.
Yes.
Mine isn't like that. Mine is still like I like my company a lot. I like my job a lot. But there's a reason why like corporate America is looked at itself how it is, because it just is so entrenchedly like shitty in so many ways. Like people don't actually care. Like when they're like, "How's your weekend?" and you're like, "Oh my god," so like my boyfriend, they don't care.
They don't. Just checking up.
They're like like, okay, let's get back to the.
Yeah, that's so true.
I think it's intimidating at first, but then you realize like a lot of these people are just normal people at the end of the day, and 100%. They also like they'll come to work and then they'll go do something else after. They're like,
absolutely.
It's kind of like I guess grounding yourself and realizing that this person is not scary.
Right.
They're just normal.
Yeah. It depends. Yeah. I've got some managers and some coworkers that are so great. And like, however, I don't really talk to anybody at work about my social media. If they know about it, it's because they authentically found it, or like they know me outside of work.
Yeah.
And they were like someone I went to school with or something. But I don't like at all. And like I'm more open to it now because I take myself more seriously in those respects. But like when I first started my job, I was terrified. I don't even use my last name on my social media because especially when I was in pharmacy school and everything, I was like, I don't want someone to not give me a job because they think I am not serious because I post about outfits. And like, while that's like a crazy take maybe, it's so true and it's such a valid fear.
That is so true. And the craziest thing is like when I switched to my second job now, I walked in on the first day and they were like, oh, it's the influencer girl. And I was like, they found it before I even got here. They were like, oh, everyone already knew that they were hiring someone that like likes to do content. And I was like, wow, okay, I'm going to start. That's my day one. I'm starting as, luckily, like no one really like said anything about that. They were honestly just like curious about it. And they'd be like, oh, like how's your podcast going?
Yeah.
But I definitely understand how it can be kind of scary because you don't know what they're going to think or like maybe not take you seriously. But it's interesting.
It is like it's like you just have to be like, when they do find out, because sometimes they do, like I think what my fear was not even like men in my company, but like women in my company looking down on me, because there is unfortunately this bias from like women in power sometimes with younger women, the Gen Zers coming in, being casual, doing shit on the internet, that they're not serious, that they're not serious workers. And like my fear, I think, was stemming more in that direction too, where I was like, what if like other women in my company like see, like, because they're the women who are like still in their buttoned up suits coming into work. They're the ones, frankly, who fought to get there. They're like 30s, 40s, like they dealt with more shit than I ever will. So like I understand their perspective, but like also I'm here to further break barriers, so like that's just the path we're on.
I think also like how long have you been in corporate America for?
I've been in my job for about a year and a half.
So for us it's been a little over 2 years, so similar. So I think it's like also learning that you bring value. Up until now we've also been like, I don't want to speak for everyone, but I've also been like, do I even belong here? Like you have that imposter syndrome a little bit. And then when you realize, wait, I am contributing, I do have like I am important, then you're able to like, I don't know, navigate it.
I agree with that so much. I think like women and like they see women, we fight a lot of imposter syndrome.
That's true.
In every space we're in. Like whether it's like content creation, corporate America, whatever, we fight that so much. So it's like really exciting and fulfilling to see, you know, people who deserve it knowing that they deserve it.
Have you ever felt it like going to events and
stuff? So much. In the beginning I felt it the most. And then more so now I've been like feeling like I belong there, and more so I've been feeling like, what am I getting out of this? Because sometimes there are events where it's like this brand is just like they're selling something.
Yeah.
You're the vehicle to sell something.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm like, okay, it's so cool, so glitz and glam, like, love this, like, cool. Brands, like, throw money almost excessively at creators, which is great, but, like, you have to wonder, like, what is the benefit here for anybody?
Yeah.
And then that's when you have to, like, look into, like, things about the brand. You have to find out, like, whether they're doing ethical practices or whether they're using this, like, PR thing to cover something up. Like, it's a balance, and I feel like when you feel like you belong there, you can make those calls.
Yeah, totally. I work on like the side of like influencer marketing, like at my company, so I see all of that. I see why we pick certain creators. I see why it's interesting. Like, because also doing the other side of it, it's like it really opens your eyes up to like how these brands really look at you.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
I feel like also there's like a lot of conversations around representation right now, and it's like really cool that we have so many more creators and like people coming out speaking out, but when it comes down to it, unfortunately, like I have found that like there's still just a limitation for like South Asian representation. Like I have been definitely like the only brown person in a room with like 75 people, and it's like in those moments where you're like, who are you, stupid? This is New York City. Like Jackson Heights is like entirely South Asian. Like, what is happening? So it's like, it's still frustrating, and these conversations still need to happen, but it's cool to be a part of the change, and I'm excited for that. But then like, I think like when you're a part of the change, you still have to like kind of like reach back down and be like, wait, like let me pull these other people up with me. Like there's a lot of conversation around competition. I don't think that should be how our community proceeds in these spaces.
We had Cynthia come on our show, like our podcast.
Oh, I love her.
It was like last year. And she was literally just talking about that. She was like, we are in a space where like our community is really growing and they're speaking up and creating such amazing content. We should not be competing.
We can't be bringing each other down.
Definitely
else is doing it too.
The best thing you could do is bring someone up in this space so that we can all grow together. There's space for everyone.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I do agree. And I think also just with, like, women in general. But do you feel that way with brown women sometimes? Because I do, like, not even in social media. Sometimes you just feel like, I don't know.
Like at a party? You're like, this girl doesn't like me.
Totally. And I'm like, why can't we just be friends?
No, I've experienced that so much. Right? My way of dealing with that is, like, I'm crazy. So, like, I've definitely, like, met girls who I'm like, I can tell this person doesn't like me. And then, like, what I do is, like, I confront them. But that's because like I'm crazy again. Like that's not normal behavior. Don't do that unless you have like the ability to take what could happen from that.
Totally.
Because like I'll be like, hey, like I felt like a weird vibe from you all night. Like, is there anything like we want to talk about?
Yeah.
And I do that because I have severe anxiety, but I feel like I'm at a place now in my life where like either I have to like fight my anxiety actively by doing shit like this, or I will think about it all night.
This is so funny because like me and Ishika were recording before this, and we were like talking about our anxieties. And one of the biggest things that me and Ishika deal with is like we ruminate on like so many things.
It's the worst part.
So I totally understand why you do that, because like it allows you to
like I can
bring
move
peace to that.
I can move if you and if it's like, oh, I just like don't like you because like you're on the internet and I don't appreciate that, or like you did a brand deal with this brand company that like supports this, and I'm like, okay, I was like,
people said that.
No, but like I imagine like I don't know,
whatever they think,
but like people like have been like so anti me, and I've been like, okay, you can hate me, but like. All right, now I know. All right, this is a dead end, so okay, bye.
Sometimes it's just the competition aspect, just like on the inability to like, I don't know, to like coexist and bring each other up, which is weird.
It is weird.
But yeah,
it is
that is weird.
But it is, I guess, like, I mean, it is our community, but also just like being in a space. It happens in corporate too, like constant competition with each other. I don't know. It's hard to like push past that, but if in this community that's something that we could do, that's the best thing we can do.
Yeah. Something that's important to me too in the South Asian community and outside of it is to be recognized as a creator first. Ambika Dar, I think is her name. She's the actor that was in that.
Yeah, the one day or whatever.
Yeah. And she kills it. Yeah. And she's amazing. Yeah. So that movie is based off of a book. And the book never, in the movie, like they never explicitly say this is a South Asian woman. Yeah. And there's never any conversations about this being a South Asian woman going through a South Asian struggle. It's just a woman. Yeah. And that, I think, is the truest representation of representation when you have someone who is obviously, like, not the norm, right? Like a white lead, playing a lead And that's not even a conversation.
It's just her life.
In the movie. It's just like, this is the norm. This is just the human experience. And I think that's like what I strive for personally, where like I don't want people to come to my content to seek out South Asian content. It's a part of who I am. It's a huge part of my life, and I love to share it. But like, I'm a creator, I'm a stylist, I'm a blogger, I'm a vlogger, and then I'm also South Asian.
Totally.
And that's a facet of my being, but not the defining characteristic.
I love that.
Yeah.
I think that's so important.
Yeah.
Like,
and when I saw Ambika Dar's, I might be butchering her name, by the way. When I saw her interview, I was like, I have never felt more seen. Totally. And she said that, she was like, I feel so excited for all the girls who are seeing this, because like when I was younger, I never thought I could be here.
Yeah.
Totally. I kind of like that with Bridgerton too. So like I had read the books, and she's white in the books.
Yeah.
Right? And then I love how they never really, obviously they address that she's brown, but it's not like, it's not a topic. Her main, she's just a brown woman.
Right. Yeah. Like, it's like she brings in her culture, she brings in like the chai and everything. Yeah. But then like,
she's just a brown woman.
That's not the point.
Right. She's just a woman.
She's not like, I'm brown and struggling. It's like, everybody's struggling.
Right.
We're all struggling together.
That's a really good point. That's a really good point.
Yeah. Okay. If you have any like piece of advice that we could end off the episode about, maybe it's about style or life, or like what your favorite thing that you've just took away from content creation.
Don't let anyone tell you that you shouldn't pursue it. Definitely do it if you want to, but don't do it for the wrong reasons. And what I mean is like, PR is cool, brand events are cool,
all likes are cool.
Likes are cool, videos like that like blow up and go viral, that's cool. But you will burn out so fast if your intention for something that's like, at the end of the day, I consider it an art. Like, it's a form of media, and we don't give it enough credit for being what it is. Like, you're sitting there, you're editing, you're filming, you're curating, you're doing so much. So give it the respect it deserves, and don't limit it to just like brand deals and PR.
Agreed. It's like
do it because
production.
You like it.
Yeah.
Do it because you like it.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I love that, and I just love how highly you speak of yourself too. I could like see it throughout the podcast. Like,
as you should.
Yeah.
It was a growing process, and therapy is a big part of that.
We love therapy.
But there was like a time when like, you know, I would like, if someone invited me onto a podcast, I'd be like, oh, I don't even know what to say. Like, how could I even belong there? Like little old me.
Yeah,
But now I'm like, I have something to say.
Yeah.
And no, this was such a good conversation.
Yeah.
It was so fun to talk about, and as people,
I learned so much from you.
Who are like developing our style too. It was so fun to talk to you and like kind of learn your journey. So
and it's still journeying.
Yeah. Where can people find you?
So I am on so many different things. I'm really a fan of long form content these days because again, I don't love the idea that all my content is just my face. I was talking about PCOS earlier. So I have a blog post coming out. It'll probably be out by the time this is out. About like my journey, cycle syncing my workouts, the like just balances that you can have outside of just medicine to like make sure that your period and your body and everything's in harmony.
Amazing.
And so I have a blog. Everything's on priya.com, and you can just find me there.
Very cool. As always, thanks so much for listening to this week's podcast episode. Let us know if you want any specific guests or want us to talk about anything specific on the show. But as always, thanks so much for listening and watching, and you'll see us next week.
Bye.
Yay! We did so good.
That was really fun.
Wait, I felt like we were just all like